Hello world, Techie Girl here, and this is Techie Girl Takes on Bookworm Deluxe. Yes, that's right, it's yet another in a series of vaguely educational minigames. Now I can hear what you're thinking out there. You're saying, but Tech, this is an educational game. This is based on Scrabble. Well, yeah, sure. Scrabble's educational if you are playing with a dictionary, or a friend who thinks they're a dictionary, or in the case of our buddy Lex here, somebody that's going to prompt you when you're guessing about words. Then you've got something vaguely educational on your hands. Otherwise, you are playing at the mercy of your own vocabulary. Now, I would have thought that something that looks like movable type tiles would have existed a lot longer than it did. In actuality, Scrabble, in its current incarnation, didn't come about until 1938, when a man named Alfred Mosher Butts... Go ahead, I'll wait. Create your own joke. Created something called Criss Crosswords. It wasn't until 10 years later that someone else bought the rights, and the name changed to Scrabble. Now, so as the story goes, the game Scrabble was being played at a party that was attended by the president of Macy's, and the president of Macy's wanted to know why in the world this thing wasn't being sold in his stores. So all of a sudden, this thing was being sold in Macy's. And that's when it actually took off. The red letters, like what I just got rid of there, if left to drop all the way at the bottom, will set the library on fire, which you would think would be a kind of a no-brainer for situations where you essentially have stacked kindling on bookshelves. But in actuality, there were some cultural ramifications to burning down libraries. In the case of places like the Antioch Library in Constantinople, and of course the library at Alexandria, people were trying to get rid of a culture by making their works disappear. And this practice actually continues into today. So this idea of setting fire to a library is not that far-fetched. Speaking of not that far-fetched, we've got our buddy Lex over here to the side. Lex is indicative of any number of creatures that could have been called bookworms. Nice. Could have been cockroaches, could have been beetles, moths, silverfish, anything like that could have been called a bookworm. However, there is a bug known as a book louse.
Excellent.
And the book louse feeds on not the glue that everything else fed on that was instrumental in holding the books together, but actually fed on the mold in the books. So we have bookworms, and we have mold, and we have the hazard of fires. You've got all kinds of things that could threaten a library. So how do you protect those? Well, the best way is to digitize your library. And that's been going on for quite some time. The National Library, state archives, those sorts of things, the Library of Congress, even the Smithsonian. Most places have a digitized version of their catalog, and not just to protect it, but also because that way it's more accessible. So right now, even as we speak, you could be online perusing through the catalog of a major library instead of watching me play Bookworm. Oh well. This has been Techie Girl with yet another vaguely educational minigame, and I probably ought to get out of here and get back to work. So you can catch me later.